So remember that a natural log is just a logarithm. So it has all the same properties as every other logarithm that we've already dealt with. So we can convert between logarithmic and exponential form just like we've been doing. So if I want to take a look at the very first one here and convert e to the x equals 24 into logarithmic form, well, my base doesn't change. I want a log base e. So that's the same as a natural log. And then the left and the right switch. Our output becomes an input, and our input, which is just x, becomes an output. That's all. We can do the same thing if it's a number. So the second example, we have e to the 9. Well, if e is the base of the exponential, then it's also the base of the logarithm. So a log base e is a natural log. The x comes over to be an input, and that 9 is now an output. So the same thing we did with regular logarithms, log base 2, log base 10, log base 18, we can do with natural logs as well. What we'll wind up doing quite a bit is number 3 here. I have an expression up there in the exponent spot, that x plus 5. So I can rewrite that as natural log of 72. Again, the 72 becoming an input. And on the right-hand side, we get that x plus 5. That's an equation we'll be able to solve very quickly once we get there. The next 3 are going the other direction. Starting with the natural log, we can rewrite these in terms of e as our base. So because I have a natural log, that's a log base e, so e is my base. This 58, which used to be an output, is now an input. And x, which used to be an input, is now an output. We can do that same thing for number 5. Note the 6 and the x are on different places here, but it doesn't change the process. The base of my logarithm is e. X used to be an output, now it's an input. 6 used to be an input, and now it's an output. And that's it. If natural log of 6 is x, then e to the x is 6. Last but not least, we have the situation we'll be seeing very soon when we start solving equations. Again, we have natural log of an expression equals 32. Well, that's the same thing as e, the base of that natural log, raised to the 32, is now that expression, x minus 9. Again, number 6 there, that equation we just set up, we'll be able to solve that very quickly. So in addition to flip-flopping, being able to convert between the forms, we also need a quick refresher on properties, because properties are going to show up in natural log problems as well. So all of the things that applied to regular logs still apply to natural logs. Addition on the outside becomes multiplication on the inside. So that's the same as natural log of 3 times 16. Addition on the outside becomes multiplication inside. So we can clean that up a little bit. That will be natural log of 48. A little bit extra going on here in number 8. Note that I have a subtraction on the outside, and I also have this 2. So there are actually 2 properties here. Subtraction on the outside becomes division on the inside, and coefficients become powers. So this whole thing will be ln of, we'll let that 3 be blue, ln of 3 squared. Sorry, that should be in the denominator. 3 squared, and we'll let that 63 be red. That should be in the numerator. So there's actually 2 properties going on there. The division comes from that subtraction on the outside, and then we get that power which comes from the coefficient. We can clean this up a little bit. Remember, 63 is in the numerator. 3 squared is the same thing as 9. And 63 divided by 9 is a math fact that we know. 63 divided by 9 is just 7. So kind of a lot going on in that problem. If you look at 9, that's a bit above where we're expecting you to be at the AB level. If you want to give it a shot, I'm happy to check your work though. We also need to be able to expand our natural logs. So expanding these logs, note that right now I have multiplication on the inside. Multiplication on the inside becomes addition on the outside. So that one's pretty quick. Again, 11 and 12, a bit beyond what we're expecting at the AB level. If you want to give them a shot, I'm happy to check your work. I'll do one random example since we've been shortchanged a bit. Something that will start to happen every now and then is maybe we'll have something like natural log of, I don't know, maybe x cubed. Well, I can bring that 3 out front because powers on the inside are equivalent to coefficients on the outside. So that will be the same as 3 times ln of x. One extra little fun example there. So again, all the same properties for regular logarithms do apply to natural logarithms, and that was the goal of this section. We still haven't really done anything with these natural logs yet. In the next video, we will start solving equations. So make sure you're comfortable with all of this before you start looking at those equation videos. And if you have a question, as always, please raise a hand. Feel free to ask. Goodbye.